questions. Boy, do we have a lot of them. But what if those questions could be answered with a simple email? Now is that time, and welcome to Chat with Charlie. Host Charlie Lynn is a certified spiritual life coach and psychic medium. She will work together with Spirit to answer both your submitted and live questions. Not only will Charlie be providing you with insight, but also interviews with amazing guests. Have a question? Submit it now to chatwcharlie@gmail.com. That's chatwcharlie@gmail.com. Here's your host of Chat with Charlie, Charlie Lynn.
Good morning, and thank you for tuning in to Chat with Charlie on WLTK-DB Talk Radio. I am not Charlie Lynn. I am your host today, your guest host, Amie Burnis. I am an author, a certified master life coach, and I like to call myself a master student. I love learning and I love applying different processes and tools and then sharing it with as many people that will listen. And today I have a little quote I want to read, and this will be kind of a topic that we're going to go over and really dig into. So this is from Living Untethered by Michael A. Singer. And it, as it quotes, it says, when you commit to spiritual growth, you work on letting go of the stored blockages from the past and not storing any more from the present. This does not mean the mind's normal memory storage process does not take place. You are not willfully forgetting life's experiences. You are simply not resisting or clinging to the experiences and thus not storing them. So let's dig in a little bit deeper about what this means and what we're going to talk about. So we are going to talk about letting go. And what does that mean? What does it look like? How can you apply it to your life and help yourself move forward? So my absolute passion is personal development. About 8 years ago now, I began this journey, and I have gone through a lot of life experiences that I will say brought me to my knees, and I really had to find my way out of it. So I went through a divorce about 11 years ago, going on 12, and I then met my now husband. And, you know, in the beginning, of course, in any new adventure, things were really good, exciting. And I then found myself in this American dream. I had, you know, a great partner. I had my children. I had a business. I was a salon owner at the time. But I still didn't feel genuinely happy, and I couldn't figure out why. And I started digging into letting go of things, understanding that your thoughts and feelings create your reality. And when I started to understand that, it literally lit me up like a firework. It was one of the best experiences of my life is finding personal development and really understanding how to create your life, how to live in your fullest unlimited potential, because every single person on this earth has unlimited potential. However, a lot of times we are not tuned into it. We don't understand, you know, our true power. So when I just started discovering this, I realized that when society tells us, right, we get this society that tells us if you get the house with the white picket fence, you have 2.5 kids, you have a good job, you have this relationship, you're set. You should be happy. That's it, right? Like how many times have we been sold this American dream? And I just couldn't understand, like, why am I truly not happy? And it's because those things are great to have, right? But if it's not truly what you want inside, you have to find out what it is that lights you up, what it is that drives you to be, you know, the best version of yourself and not anyone else, because we only know what's best for us, right? Because anyone else, we're just guessing. And other people have their own dreams. And when you're looking over and you see that, sometimes it looks so good that you think that's what you want until you start diving in and understand that everything we do is for a feeling. We want to feel a certain way. So maybe it wasn't exactly what they were doing, but you saw the way it made them feel, the way they were able to live their life, and that's what inspired you to want that. So you have to start digging in and asking yourself the questions. What is it that I truly want? What is it that lights me up that I can apply in my life and, work towards having this goal while also living, in the life that you're at in the moment? Because a lot of times we get so stuck in our current circumstances that we can't really see that there is more, and that you can work towards what you want. But if we're so focused on what's right in front of us, it's almost like blinders. Like, you really can't see the solution because you're so focused on the problem. And I always say, don't get so focused on fighting the old or the past that you're not leaving more room to focus on what you want. Because I think spiritual growth is a lot of both. It's a lot of letting go, and it's a lot of focusing on what you want and truly letting yourself feel the emotions that come with it, because that's how we create the lives that we want. We focus and we think and we feel in our visualizations of what we want. And that is how we move forward. So I would love to share this process with you. It is from my second book. It's called The Freedom Switch, The Owner's Manual for Your Mind to Create Radical Happiness, which I am so excited to announce will be available in the next couple of weeks. I have been working really hard to get this out to everyone, and it has over 21 processes which are designed for your ultimate growth. There are processes to let go of pain, processes for forgiveness. We talk about letting go of limiting beliefs, creating empowering beliefs, affirmations, circle breathing, meditation. I mean, it covers pretty much everything you need to really go forward in your spiritual growth journey and life in general. So this is one process I would love to share with you. So this is called the process to let go of pain. And this process can be emotional, and you might feel yourself going through numerous releases. So if you feel the urge to cry, scream, move your body, or whatever, whatever feels right, just let it happen. So make sure you are in a quiet place, that you will not be disturbed. And we'll just go ahead and get right into this. You can do this now, you could do it later, but you would close your eyes and ask your inner child to join you. And your inner child is you at whatever age shows up first in your mind. And then you're going to ask your inner child to show you what events you need to see that hurt you. Whatever you see first is exactly what you need to face. Allow yourself to be in this moment as though you are at the age that it happened. And you let yourself feel the emotions. You try not to push them out or suppress them. And I know it might feel hard, because sometimes you will be shown something in your childhood that wasn't easy and it was hard to go through. But when you let yourself see whatever it is that first comes to mind, let yourself go through the experience, breathe through it. And after you have allowed yourself to relive this moment, you can go back again and see if the emotion is still as heavy or as hard as the first time. And if it is, let yourself feel it all again. And you might have to do this multiple times until the experience doesn't trigger you. Allow yourself to do this anytime you have a cycle that keeps repeating itself. And I think this is also a really good recap, is to read the recap of the day. It is, life usually presents obstacles or challenges in cycles. So if you don't get something, say something comes up in your life and it's really hard and you have to go through it. If you resist it and you don't let yourself experience it or try to eventually understand what it was that you were meant to learn, it will come back. Unfortunately, fortunately, right? Because that is what life is. Earth is a school. It is, you come here, you learn the lessons and challenges that you need for your ultimate soul growth, right? And that's what life is. And we get so caught up in the illusion of what this is that we forget that the realness is inside. It is inside our connection to spirit, God, source, the universe, whatever you choose to call it. That is the realness. But of course, everything in our outer world is a reflection of our inner world, what we think, what we feel, what we're focused on. Those are our three big things that we have to pay attention to. So you might think you were able to get through a certain challenge, but if you didn't learn what you were supposed to, it will present itself again. And sometimes if you didn't learn it, it'll come back. And sometimes it might kick you a little bit harder than the first time to get your attention. And if you still don't get it, usually it's going to come back around and it might really throw you for a loop to really get your attention, really push you forward. And that's really honestly for your growth. And I know that contrast can be really hard. You know, we see what we don't want. And sometimes we get so focused on it that we're not allowing ourselves to let it show you what you do want. And that's what contrast is. It's not there to be this awful thing. It's meant as a tool for your growth, for you to refocus on what you do want, which is an awesome gift if you let it be. But if you don't, it's gonna hurt like hell, right? It's going to keep coming back. So if you can, start digging into it. I always say when there is an emotion present and it keeps coming back, you have to dig into when it first originated. Can you think of the very first time it happened? Who is around you? What thoughts or things did someone say to you that it originated from? And when you dig back through, it is going to amaze you, because I've had some limiting beliefs or emotions that I had no idea that it actually originated, you know, way back when I was 5 or 10 or 12, whatever age that it showed up. And you trace it back and you're able to start understanding yourself. You're able to start letting go. And honestly, letting go is one of the life's biggest challenges, but it is also the best thing you can do for yourself, is to let go of how you thought your life should look or how it should play out, because we get very stuck in, if your life isn't happening the way you pictured it, we get stuck in that and we get frustrated and we're just like, why is this not happening in the way that I wanted it to? But here's the thing, the universe knows exactly how to have your life happen in the way that is going to best align and best propel you to grow forward. The most challenging times are meant for your growth. And if you can understand that you created your life in this thing we call a soul contract, and what that means is before you are born, you plan out your life and you plan out the things you need to experiences, your, you know, the biggest challenges, some of the people that are going to be in your life. You plan that out. So when you go through life, if you can start to understand, I say it's all for you, not happening to you. Because a lot of times when it's something we don't want to experience, we start to say, why is this happening to me? But it's happening for you, designed for you. And when you can start to understand that, you can really start to say, okay, thank you to the people in your life that have maybe presented a hard relationship, because they were just fulfilling their contract with you. They're doing what you asked them to do. And in a sense, you can say, okay, wow. So even if they did hurt me, I needed to learn whatever it was. And I'm not saying that in the moment you're going to see that, or honestly, that you're going to be able to be in the right frame of mind to understand that. This usually comes later, after you're able to calm down, you've processed it, you've gone through it. And when you are able to see that, and then, you know, maybe let yourself acknowledge that, wow, that is a gift to let yourself truly understand, like, this was for me. This is something I needed to learn. And what an amazing journey it can be. It can also really be very hard. It can kick your butt. You can get frustrated. And I totally understand all of that. But ultimately, it is for your highest growth, your soul growth, the things that your soul needs to go through to evolve, right? And it's not easy. I get it. So don't get discouraged if you feel like you've made changes in your life, yet you seem to be going backwards. That can happen. And I say that the ego, so the ego is the part of your personality that it allows you to relate to the world, because if you didn't have your ego, you wouldn't be able to filter things and see things and be this personality that you have, right? So your ego likes to keep things the way they are. It likes the same, it likes the repetition, just like our brains. They're really made for repetition. They like to be efficient. You're just like when you breathe, walk, or talk, you don't have to think. I mean, you have to think about the things you say, but you don't have to think about breathing or walking. It just happens, which is amazing, right? Because that frees up your mind space to do the things that you need to do, to say the things, think about things. But it also creates what? Thoughts, patterns, behaviors, things that you do consistently. So you actually program your brain, right? So the habits you have, they get programmed. And the more you do it, a sheath called myelination coats that. So it's like firing fast. Whatever habit it is, whatever thought you have that you do the most of, your brain loves that because it's consistent, it's repetition, and it can fire on it quickly. But it's not so good if you want to change a habit or a thought. It takes consistent reframing of a thought. If you have a certain thought that keeps coming up that is not what you want to be thinking, the moment it happens, you have to remind yourself to reframe it. If it's something negative, you want to reframe it to something that is in alignment with what you want to think, right? Because what you think about, you bring about. What you feel is also one of the biggest things that you need to concentrate on. And if you are thinking thoughts that make you feel bad, then that's what is going to keep coming back to you. But if you can start to reframe your thoughts, you can change it the way you feel. This doesn't mean that you can force it, because obviously I'm sure everybody's tried that. You've tried to feel happy, right? Or you've tried to feel a certain way. And if you're forcing it, it won't happen. It's not a true, genuine feeling. So you have to start thinking a different thought that goes up the vibrational emotional scale, because our emotions are on a vibrational scale. They aren't good or bad is what we term them as. They are just either lower on the vibrational scale or they are higher. So you have the lower thoughts, like anger, hate, jealousy, resentment, all of these things, and they actually go up higher on the scale to like love, joy, all of that. And some of the feelings obviously are higher, even if they're on a lower. So say you're depressed. Well, anger is actually a higher vibrational emotion than depression, because depression, can really consume you, make you not want to get out of bed, not do anything, lack of motivation. Whereas anger has a lot of energy. So if you can learn to harness that energy in a good way and use it to propel you forward, that way you're able to go up that emotional scale one thought at a time. Because you can't go up the emotional scale going from, a super low emotional feeling to a high one. You have to take yourself up that scale one thought at a time. Say you're having a really bad day, and say you just are feeling as though no one's listening to you. Maybe you just don't feel very worthy. And if you can instead focus on that and say, okay, maybe today I'm going to focus on something that makes me feel just a little bit better. A great cup of coffee, a walk, a talk with a friend, something that helps you move up one spot on the vibrational scale. That is how you move forward. So this brings me back to the ego. So your ego likes to keep you the same. And to the ego, same equals safe. So when you are able to understand that the ego's job is just, hey, I'm just trying to keep you the same. So when you're making life changes and you feel as though you're taking one step forward and then two steps backwards, it's because your ego is kind of fighting you where you're at. So I always like to have this conversation with my ego. I'm like, thank you for your help. Thank you for trying to keep me safe. But I have got it. I'm going to keep moving forward. I'm going to allow myself to face the things that I am, maybe doubtful or fearful of, because I always say, if you can push past the fear, that's when the magic happens. Doing the things that you were most afraid of are what set you free. And that could be making a phone call, writing something and putting it out there for other people to see. Whatever it is that you have in your heart that you have wanted to do, if you can push past that fear just a little bit, make one decision to step forward, that's when the magic happens. And it is such a beautiful experience to move forward and to allow yourself to go through all that life has to offer. And I want to talk so we're talking about letting go. I feel like this is such a good topic, especially now. I know everybody is feeling the effects of the world, right? It's loud, it's in your face. Nobody lets you forget what's going on, right? it's very like, even if you try, someone will bring something up to you, whether it be, the state of the economy, this or that. They're going to remind you of what is going on. So it's really hard to escape that. So one of the best things that I can think of is the forgiveness process. And the forgiveness process is really simple. You can do this in multiple different ways, but one of my favorite things to do is to write a letter. And this could be to yourself. This could be to someone that hurt you. This could be to someone you hurt. Whatever it is that you are going through or dealing with, you are going to write this letter. You're going to say what it is that you need forgiveness from, or you're giving forgiveness, or you're hoping to give forgiveness from yourself or to someone else. Write it all down. Let the emotions out. No one has to see this. So literally, I want you to pour your heart out. And when you are done with this, you can either rip it up and literally see yourself letting go of whatever it is, or you can burn it. And that's such a powerful way to let go of whatever it is that you have been holding on to. So this is an amazing process that you can do. You can do it. You could actually, if you truly wanted, you could give this letter to someone and let go of it. Whether or not, the main point is the forgiveness, getting forgiveness isn't the object here. What it is letting go of the pain. And this is also not for like letting someone off the hook and saying, oh, your behavior is acceptable. No, that's not it. Because if they hurt you and they intentionally did it, the point is to let go of the pain that you've been holding on to, right? Because that is what keeps us stuck. So use the process of letting go of suppressed emotions to help you clear out stagnant energy. The one we did with the inner child. Remember, all of your experiences are meant for your growth, even the painful ones. I know it can be really, really hard. You are doing a really, really great job. And I am so proud of you. Seriously, every single person on this earth that is here now is amazing. Like, being here right now is the most pivotal time that our whole entire consciousness has ever saw. It's insane. So you being here, wow, amazing. Kudos to you. Seriously. You are not your emotions, but you feel your emotions. There is a big difference. Remind yourself of this anytime you have emotions that are hard to go through. And a great way to say this is, I am feeling sad, or I'm feeling anxious. Because if you say I am anxious, you are stating I am anxious. Like, that is who you are. That is not who you are, right? You are a conscious being going through life, experiencing it. That is who you are, but you are not your emotions. You could simply tell yourself, I am feeling anxious, but I am not my emotions. I am the awareness of them. And when life keeps cycling back to a certain area in your life that frustrates you, there is a lesson you are not learning. dig deeper into it, and you will eventually find a deeper meaning. And this is my personal experience with surrendering. There have been moments in my life that I couldn't understand why something kept happening to me. I would feel frustrated and try to push out the emotions that kept emerging whenever a person or experience triggered me. It wasn't until I realized that by suppressing my emotions, I was actually inviting more experiences that would bring the same emotions, that I was able to start allowing myself to feel the emotions. When I allowed myself to experience the emotion, I was able to move past painful experiences or hard relationships. I find myself stating that I am feeling a certain emotion rather than expressing I am anxious or sad. This creates a sense of peace, knowing that I am the awareness instead of trying to push out or suppress painful emotions. This is a lifelong process. I laugh because you'll never get it done. You'll never get life done. Life's always going to happen. There's always going to be experiences. There's always going to be desires. You're always going to have goals, right? So you're never going to get it done. You're never going to run out of time. You always have time, especially if you're living and breathing here on earth. There's always time. We will always have plenty of emotions to surrender to. Some will feel as though they are consuming you. Some might even crush you, but you will always find your way through. And I promise you that, because I have been through so many experiences that felt as though I couldn't keep my head above water. But then I did. Those are the moments you fight for yourself. You have to fight for yourself always. That is my mantra. Fight for yourself. No one else is going to do it for you. No one knows the dreams that you have. No one knows what your desires are but you. And you are truly the only one that can make them happen. You deserve to live a joy-filled life. This doesn't mean you won't have moments of pain or frustration, but you will get stronger and you will grow. And I want you to take this with you. You can't go through your life wrong, right? It is strong. I strongly believe we design our life with the lessons and challenges we need to learn. So when we are born and as we grow, we will make choices that affect us. Some will be choices that bring us happiness, and some will bring pain and sadness. Both are just as important. They both help you learn and grow. And I want you to take the phrase, "Why is this happening to me?" and replace it with, "This is happening for me." Right? That is such a beautiful, beautiful lesson to understand, is that things are not happening to you. They are happening for you. That is what we have been talking about while focusing on the things that we want to bring in our life. We have to be just as observant to let go of what we don't want. And because that's how we stay stuck. That's how we stay stagnant, is getting in this loop of, why is this happening? And replacing it with, this is happening for me. What can I learn? How can I grow? Because that is so, so important to what we need to understand and how we grow forward. It is everything. Our focus is truly everything. We are going to take a short break, but when we come back, we will be answering more questions from our viewers. And remember that you can submit questions to Charlie via email at chatwcharlie.com. So that's CHATW Charlie, CHARLIE.com. Or you can always submit them in the comments while the show is live. She can read them and help you get an answer, either on the show that she's on, or maybe the next show that she comes back with. It is what we have, 9:29. And then when we come back, we will be discussing some more letting go and surrendering to your highest good. It's been a beautiful morning so far with you all. I hope that wherever you are having a good start to your day, whether it is Eastern time, Central, Mountain, or Pacific, because I have been, I swear, in all the different time zones lately, and it gets a little bit confusing wherever you are. So we will be back shortly.
Would you like to be a part of something new, something different? Host a show with WLTK-DB Talk Radio and dare to be different. We offer full production and live engineering of your show by a real person, not a pesky computer. Just visit WLTK-DB.com and click pricing to get started. It's not as much as you think and a great way for you to get your message to the world. Better hurry. Slots fill up fast and you don't want to miss out on this excellent opportunity. Visit WLTK-DB.com and contact us for more information now. WLTK-DB Talk Radio. Paranormal talk is our business, and business is good. From its beginnings, Used was created to unleash the excellence of nature's healing powers and bring them to people everywhere. With almost 90 years in the market, they are considered a worldwide pioneer in complete herbal wellness therapy. All Swiss Used products are natural, essential oil-based, pleasant, and harmonious. They are extracted from plants and herbs with the latest technology to ensure the best results. Swiss Used Live Healthy with consultant Stephanie will guide you in the right direction to find the perfect essential products just for you. For example, have an upset tummy? Try our soothing chamomile that has not only been used by many, but trusted for years. Keep in mind, you just can't get these amazing oils at your local shopping center. They're just too special. For that, you need a connection. And that connection is Stephanie. Want some? Then head on over to Facebook and search Swiss Used Live Healthy. That's Swiss Used Live Healthy and contact Stephanie today.
Welcome back. It is now 32 minutes after the hour, and you are back with, well, Amie Burnis today. I'm your guest host here at WLTK-DB Talk Radio on Chat with Charlie. And we are going to continue with our chat about letting go and really living in your fullest potential and how to make that happen. So I'm going to start with, so the book, what I'm reading is from my second book, The Freedom Switch, and it's called The Freedom Switch, The Owner's Manual for Your Mind to Create Radical Happiness. So it kind of goes through all of the different ways of expanding your mind, tools and processes to help you move forward. And I start with understanding your mind is your most powerful tool. And the voice awareness activity is something that can help you understand that you are not all of those crazy thoughts you have, because we can have over 60,000 thoughts a day, of which 80% can be negative. And that can be really consuming. It can make you question, well, why am I creating all this, negativity, or why do I have these loops? Well, when you understand that you are not those thoughts, but rather that you are the awareness of them, this can help you to really let go and move forward. So this is a voice awareness activity. So you would make yourself in your mind say hello. Say it. You can do that right now. And then make it say hello again. Give your inner voice a name, maybe something simple or silly like Bob. Anytime your inner voice, Bob, says something that causes you to feel upset, be observant of that and say, all right, Bob, I hear you, but that's not what I want to focus on. Now that you understand you have an inner voice, next is to understand you are the awareness of this voice. The voice is not who you are. Anytime your brain starts to ramble on in a negative or anxious way, remind yourself this is your monkey mind, and you do not have to believe the negative thoughts. You are powerful beyond measure. You are unique, and no one else can be you. That is your gift. So as we talked about, your thoughts are not who you are, but rather you are the awareness of them. Giving that voice a humorous name such as Bob helps us to realize we are separate than that voice. You can change your thoughts, behaviors, or patterns. Your brain is a powerful tool designed to help keep you alive, but not meant to make you happy. The more we repeat a certain thought, emotion, or habit, the stronger it gets. And our brain just like we talked about before, our brain is wired for certain habits, patterns, or behaviors, but it can be rewired. It takes time, though, just like I said, when you have been repeating a certain pattern, behavior, or thought over and over again, it gets stronger. Like I said, it creates that really strong pathway. And in order to make it die out, you have to stop repeating it. You have to stop having it fire on that. And that is one of life's biggest challenges. I will say that, because when you have been thinking about something, it almost feels as though it is your fault. That is just how you are. Say, if you feel like you're an anxious person or you're angry, you're like, that's just who I am. Well, no, that's who you've programmed yourself to be, unfortunately, right? That is, but fortunately, because you can change it. But a lot of times we think that we don't have a choice, because it's hard when you go to change it. At first, you feel like you're battling yourself. You literally are. You're battling your mind, because your mind is like, that this is what we think, this is how we do it. So when you take back that ownership and say, I know that this is how I live my life, and this is how I thought, and this is predominantly how I felt, you can make that change. And what a beautiful gift it is to know that. Is it easy? Heck no. Is it going to take time? Yes, it is. But time is going to pass anyway, right? Time is going to move forward. Would you like to spend your time creating a future reality that is what you want? Or would you rather stay stuck where you're at? Those are the questions you have to ask yourself. You have to fight for yourself every day. Every day I say that. Fight for yourself. What can I do to move myself forward? It's just something that you have to do. You have to think about. So let's go ahead and talk about some limiting beliefs and letting go. What is a belief or thought that you have that is causing you to feel bad, or just isn't in alignment with who you want to be now or where you want to go? Can you think of where you first heard this? Think of the first time that you heard this, or the way you felt, or the time that you first felt this. Does this belief cause you to feel good or bad? I'm guessing most likely it's going to make you feel bad, because if it's a belief that you have ingrained and you want to let go of, it's probably an emotion that you don't want to feel. Now you have to ask yourself, will letting go of this belief cause you to feel better? I'm guessing most likely it would, because if you have a limiting belief and it's holding you back, letting go and reframing it is of course going to help propel you forward. So you also need to find 3 supporting thoughts that you believe are true. So this could be something simple as, just an example, if you think you were bad at science, you could say, well, my whole family is bad at science, I failed my test, and I don't like science. So those are 3 supporting pieces of evidence for that limiting belief. Now we are going to prove these to be false. So when you hold a belief that you are bad at something, you cause yourself to hold the expectation that you will do bad on a test. You might not try as hard or study. This sets you up for failure. It does not mean you are bad at science, but that you believe you are. Failing a test does not mean you can't gain the knowledge to pass the test. It most likely means you were unprepared for the test. If there is a certain subject that you do not enjoy as much as others, it is best to acknowledge that while you may not enjoy it as much as others, you know that you can achieve the knowledge to pass science with practice, focus, and knowing you can pass, because you choose to believe you can. So that is how you actually dismantle those 3 supporting evidence of your beliefs that you would like to reframe. So let's recap. Limiting beliefs hold us back from achieving our goals and dreams. They do not define who you are. You can dismantle a limiting belief, and you can do this by proving the evidence to your beliefs as untrue. That was the limiting belief, how you reframe it. And you can do this for any emotion or belief that you have that you repeat over and over in your head. So, for example, sometimes you might feel this belief that you don't try new things because you don't have to put yourself out there, you don't have to feel uncomfortable, and you don't have to go through the fear of trying something new. And a lot of people don't realize that there is an actual gain to holding on to limiting beliefs. What you're gaining is that you don't have to push yourself. You don't have to feel uncomfortable. You don't have to try something new, and you don't have to be afraid of trying something new. So a lot of times people will self-sabotage in that sense because it's helping them, right? Helping, I say that the operative word, because we oftentimes don't realize that we're hurting ourselves by holding ourselves back. But we do that because we don't want to feel uncomfortable. We don't want to go through uncertain times. So when you understand that you actually are doing these things on purpose, unconsciously, subconsciously, because that's what happens is your ego's like, hey, we'll do this, we'll keep you the same. And so you don't push yourself forward because you don't have to do those things. Then you can start to let go of some of those limiting beliefs and propel yourself forward. So after we dismantled our limiting beliefs, we want to create empowering beliefs that are in alignment with who you want to be and where you want to go. So what you will do is you will ask yourself, what is a thought or belief that you want to have? And what emotions does this cause you to have? Is this thought or belief in alignment with your goals and dreams? And then you want to find 3 truths to support this. So we're going to go back to something simple again. Just, I'm good at soccer. For one, I practice hard and I improve every time. 2, I've kicked a goal more than once. And 3, my teammates are happy to have them on my team. So that way you found the evidence to support your new belief. And I want you to take, when you find this new empowering belief, I want you to take it and put it on an index card, put it in the notes on your phone, wherever it is. And I want you to read it at least 3 times a day. When you wake up, maybe at lunch, and then right before you go to bed. Those are the 3 most powerful times to focus on something, especially the morning and the night. Because in the morning, when you first wake up, you're kind of still in that, frame of mind where you haven't gotten through to the part of the day that is making you focus on, your to-do tasks or whatever it is. So in the morning and before you go to bed, those are amazing times to focus on what you want. And a belief is a thought or idea that you believe or heard from someone else. Think of a belief like a stool. First, you will dismantle the legs, then you can build a better feeling belief. And you want to post this belief so you see it often. Remind yourself of the reasons it is true. Practice on empowering beliefs and the emotions they will bring. This will allow you to achieve your goals and dreams. So we covered the voice awareness, understanding that you are not your mind, but rather you are the awareness. We covered limiting beliefs and empowering beliefs. The next thing we will talk about is inner talk. So we all have a inner critic, an inner cheerleader. And when you are negatively focused, you're most likely going to have that inner critic. But I just want you to know that that is okay, because a lot of times we get so focused on the fact that we create all these negative thoughts that we don't understand that we have a choice to change that. So to figure out if you have a predominantly focused inner critic or motivator, we'll ask yourself these questions. What does your inner voice usually say to you? Why does it say you can or can't do something? What thoughts do you hear a lot? When I hear negative beliefs, what would my inner motivator say instead? And would I rather believe my bad thoughts or the critic or the motivator with the good thoughts? When you hear the enemy or critic, recognize that you can choose to believe the motivator instead. Write down the thoughts the motivator would say, such as, I can achieve anything I set my mind to. Belief, focus, determination, and feeling good will allow me to progress. It is perfectly natural to have both negative thoughts and positive thoughts. It is okay to have moments of fear, but just keep choosing to believe in yourself. And I say that with such conviction. Keep choosing to believe in yourself. If you have a dream in your heart, it was put there for a reason. Okay, I say this because I have to tell myself this all the time. I mean, my whole focus in life is helping people realize their unlimited potential and letting go of the things that don't serve them and replacing it with the things that you do. I want to say that is so important to understand. to believe in yourself, because if you can do one thing every day, one little thing, we always think of that we have to do these big, massive steps to move forward. And that's not true. It can be something simple as writing a post because you had it in your heart and you put it out there and someone saw it and it changed their day. Like, we don't realize the impact that those little things have on people. I mean, I don't know about you, but sometimes I'll be having this thought and I can't get over it. And I see this quote and I see something someone wrote and I'm just like, whoa, that hit me. And it's no coincidence. It is no coincidence. We think it is. We think that, oh, we just saw this and we resonated with it. Oh no, the universe put it out there for you to see, for you to understand, and for you to move forward. It's a beautiful process. And I tell you that when we think we know how things should happen, we put this in our head, we have these thoughts and we're like, okay, I really want this. And so you dream about it, you think about it, and all of a sudden it doesn't happen in the way you wanted it to. And you start to question if it was right for you and you get frustrated. But here's the beautiful thing. You don't even see all of the things that have to happen behind the scenes for one little thing to happen, because the universe isn't going to have it transpire for you, but also hurt other people. It has to happen in a way that is organic and that will, help in the best possible way for all involved, right? And so when you can let go of how it's supposed to happen and only focus on what you want and why you want it and the way it makes you feel, then you can let go of it happening in a completely different way than what you thought it was going to. Because if you get so caught up in focusing on that it didn't happen in the way that you wanted it to, then you're not leaving room for the magic of the universe to do what it needs to do. I mean, my goodness, sometimes I have to whack myself in the head because you know what? You want to leave room for this amazing magic to happen by the universe, because what a gift it is, and how amazing the universe creating energy. Why wouldn't you want to let go of the reins and let the universe bring you where you're supposed to go? I mean, that's, to me, if you can start to learn to do that and over and over and over again, let go, let go, let go, let go. Whoa. Then you start to be in the flow, because when you resist things, it persists. And that, to me, is one of the worst things. If you're holding on and you're resisting and it keeps happening, it keeps happening, it keeps happening, let go. Let go of the oar, quit trying to paddle upstream and let go. Because just like water doesn't force itself to go. It just goes where it's supposed to go. And we see the true power of just like Yellowstone. I don't know if anybody's been watching what's been going on. It's near and dear to my heart because I'm from Montana, but you see the power of the water. It's taking out roads, it's taking houses, taking bridges. It's doing all this because it just goes where it flows, right? I mean, that's what we are meant to do, is go where we flow. We're supposed to not resist. And when you let go, you start to see that everything that is happening in the way it's happening is designed for your highest good. At the perfect moment. That's another thing. We get so caught up in when it's supposed to happen and it didn't happen yet that we don't realize that we're not leaving room for our creator to do the job that it is meant to do. It is meant for our highest good to happen at the perfect moment. And what a beautiful thing that is. I know I keep saying that, but it is true, because it helps me personally to know that yes, it hasn't happened yet, but it is happening for my highest good. It's going to happen at the perfect time. And when you let go of that, it leaves room for you to do your magic as a creator, which is to believe and think and create your reality, right? All right. So we talked about thinking about our inner talk and figuring out that you can, you can change your inner critic to a motivator, or at least reframe your thoughts. So let's write some thoughts that your inner motivator would say. You would say, something as, I am worthy. I am a creator that has the potential to create whatever it is that I desire. Those are the positive things that an inner motivator would say. Those are the things that you want to focus on. So we all have an inner enemy and a motivator. Become aware of when the inner enemy is talking. And remember, you can say that, Bob, I hear you, but I'm not going there with you today. Remember, it's natural to hear that because we've programmed our brain to repeat those thoughts. Remember to switch your awareness to the motivator when you start to hear the inner critic. That's such an important thing that you can do. All right, let's talk about changing negative words or phrases into positive words or phrases. So the things that we say to ourselves and others hold a lot of power. Everything is energy, right? And our thoughts and our words are super powerful. When we learn to rephrase negative phrases, it helps us to be more positive. Have you ever been around someone that focuses so much on negativity that you can almost predict what they will say? You can literally feel the energy getting sucked right from you. That's how negative words and phrases feel too. They set the tone for how you feel. You have the power to create a positive life by paying attention to how you talk, how you feel, and the things you say. Remember, your brain does not care if you are focusing on negative or positive thoughts. It just keeps firing on whichever one is used the most. Learning to change negative phrases into positive will allow you to bring more ease and flow into your life. So let's turn negative words or phrases into positive. You can take "I can't" and you're going to replace it with "how can I?" So what is something that you say in your head a lot that you are saying? I can't. Well, how can you? What is one step that you can find to take to push yourself forward? That is such an amazing, this is such an amazing experience or process to use because you are taking an "I can't." Well, how can I? How can I? I always say that when you do something or anyone does something, it literally just proves the impossible possible. So we often hear people say they can't do something, but how often do you hear them focus on the steps that will allow them to make it possible? Even if you do not hear many people say this, you can set a powerful example by going first and showing them. When you first set out to do something, it can be overwhelming. I get it. That's why it is so important to just figure out the very first step that you can take that will make it possible. There are many free resources and tools available on the internet today. We are very fortunate to have so much available at our fingertips. Like, seriously, if you don't know how to do something, you can literally Google it or YouTube it and figure it out. And that's so amazing. Like, we're so blessed to have so much information at our fingertips. Unfortunately, sometimes we use it in the wrong way, of course, right? Focusing on the negative things. So let's change "I have to" "I get to." So when you say you have to do something, it implies that you don't want to do it or it's a burden. When we say "I get to," that it reminds us that it's a good thing, such as I get to go to school, I get to go to work, because some people don't have that privilege and some people don't get the chance to learn. Remind yourself that you have so much to be grateful for, and much of what we take for granted is an absolute blessing for many. Gratitude is quite literally a skill that will help you achieve a great deal of success in life. So you would take "I have to," something that you say often, "I have to do that," reframe it and put "I get to." So an example would be, what if I failed this test, to what if I ace this test? Build excitement and wonder for all the good that is to come. So when you focus on what you focus on becomes your reality. Focus on feeding your mind positivity and your goals. When you feed your body positivity, you feel good both mentally and physically. The stronger the mind gets and the healthier it gets. This work of personal development will shape your mind into you becoming the most confident, kind, fullest, happiest version of yourself. Our words hold a lot of power. We can recognize when our negative thoughts are affecting us by how we feel. Changing a simple phrase allows us to have control over our thoughts. It is perfectly normal to have doubt and fear. However, when you use the changing negative to positive experience, this allows you to move forward. So I want to share a little bit about where you can find some of the things I post. I have an author page on Facebook. It is author Amie Burnis, and I also am a life coach. So I share just anything that I feel people might be able to use and apply. That is right on Facebook. You can search that. That is one of my pages that I post to. I also have an Instagram page. It's just Amie Burnis. Definitely post a lot of my things on there. And then the last place would be, I guess I do have a YouTube channel, Amie Burnis again, AMIE Burnis, BURNIS, and then also TikTok. I post a lot of my videos on there. I share a lot of things that come to mind. So those are the places. I do have my first book is called Soul Fed. It deals a lot of what we're talking with, but that one's a little bit more life experience with 9 different processes that help you. And that one I would say is more for anyone adult wise. And then this book, the newest one, The Freedom Switch, is definitely good for youth up to adult because I made it very simple. There are no swear words or any sort of conflicting thing that you wouldn't want your young adults to read. This is quite literally the book I wish I would have been given when I was 16 to help me truly understand how to use my mind, how to use my thoughts, and create the life that I want. This is the book I created I have 4 children, beautiful kids, love them with all my heart. And this is the book I created with them in mind so that I could leave it on the nightstand and help them grow in the best possible way. So those are the outlets that you can find a lot of what I talk about. My book is available on Amazon, and The Freedom Switch will be available for pre-order in the next couple weeks. I'm so excited about that. It's been such an amazing experience writing it and going forth. And I just want you to understand that if you have a goal or a dream or something in your heart, that don't ever give up on it. It may be really hard. It may feel as though it's miles away, but it's not. It's so much closer than you ever realize. It's just that we can't see, the final result. I think of life like this tapestry, and imagine we're like an ant crawling through. You can't see what it is that's being weaved and created from down there. You're just in the thick of it. But when you are, up top, you see this beautiful tapestry that's being created. But we don't see that when we're in the trenches, right? We can't see that. So know that whatever it is in your heart, find one step forward every day. One thing that moves you forward. One thing that pushes you closer to it. Don't ever give up. I say this with such conviction. It can feel as though you don't know how to make it happen, or maybe you start to doubt yourself because the ego is going to come in and be like, this is what we've done. This is how we do it. Don't believe it. Do not believe it. You are the creator of your reality. You are the creator of your life. There is so much to be excited about, and I believe in you. You have to fight for yourself. And I want to talk about the end of the show. I am so grateful that I got to come on here. So thank you, Charlie, for having me. And I hope to come back soon. And I'm excited for all that's to come. And I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. Thank you for tuning in today for Chat with Charlie. I hope you enjoyed it, and you come back next week for more shared revelations and discussions. And as a reminder, you may submit questions via email to Charlie at chatwcharlie, CHARLIE@gmail.com. And please remember to submit all questions by Tuesday. Also, if you are fascinated by all that goes bump in the night, paranormal, metaphysical, and spiritual, you will want to check out some of the other amazing shows on WLTK-DB Talk Radio. Tonight, Thursday, starting at 7 p.m., you have Renee and Ashley hosting Realm of Darkness, followed by the Afterlife Chronicles with Nicole Strickland at 8 p.m. Friday, be sure to tune in for Renee Rodriguez at 7 p.m. for her show, The Secrets Within. Monday at 9 a.m., catch up with Diet Renee at Schooled Through Spirit, and later Christina Bloom on Be the Change at 8 p.m. Tuesday, Pete or Bay Bay will be hosting Paranormal Pete at 10 p.m. And finally, Wednesday, you can find Kelly Bickrell at 3 p.m. hosting the Psychic Hour, followed by Missy and Nicole with Over the Target at 8 p.m. I won't see you next week, but Charlie Lynn will. Right here for another episode of Chat with Charlie. Until then, may blessings and joy follow you. I am Amie Burnis, your guest host, and I thank you for tuning in today.